To start a calibration, go to the Run menu, select Run Test Definition. Choose your pressure units. We want PSI. Scroll down to the P or just hit P to jump to the PSI section and put in your name. It's good practice to clear previous selections to remove any previous configurations from prior test. And hit Next. You'll notice that we have many DPI 515 selections. It's one DPI 515 profile, but if we scroll over to the right, you see that we have the output labels and we have a output for each type of calibration. We're calibrating the barometer, so I double click and it brings it down into the selection window. I hit Next. Here we want the serial number. So reading from the label, we got 515-020-45, and the identification is some sort of asset number. At this point, we need to make sure that our COM settings are correct. I'm not on COM 1. I know that I have connected to COM 5 on my computer. So select COM 5. Double check the baud rate, parity, data bits, stop bits. By default, that's what we want. Hit OK. And this is the nominal range of the barometric option, and we're going to be calibrating in absolute mode. Hit Next. Next, we need to tell it what test definition to follow. And we're going to be calibrating the barometer using the As Found, As Left option. So I double click, brings it to the selection window, hit Next. Now we have to tell it what reference device to use. From our drop-down menu, we see that we have the 7202, 7601, and we have the PPC4. It's going to read the reference pressure and it's also going to control it. Hit Next. We'll skip the auxiliary devices. This is an option that you can toggle to have shown during initialization or to hide it during initialization. And my PPC4 is indeed on COM4 at a baud rate 9600, no parity, 8 data bits, 1 stop bit. So I'm going to hit Load Settings. Hitting the next key at this step is also the same thing as Load Settings. This just says that we're going to set a nominal range of 0, max range of 17, PSI absolute, using an auto range. And if there is a head correction difference, this is the place to put it in. So my head height is, I measured it previously, we're at minus 29 centimeters. That means the DPI 515 is 29 centimeters below the reference line of the PPC4. And I'm calibrating with nitrogen. Hit Next. This is a summary screen. Tells us what test we're going to run, how many DUTs, the range, and if we have line pressure or temperature, which for these calibrations that will not be applicable. Click Finish to finish the test initialization. And now I've got the job of resizing my windows here. For this video, I'm running on a very low resolution screen, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to see all these windows. That's just a display option. And as we're running, you'll see on our main screen we have device windows for the PPC4, device output for the DUT. At the top we have our toolbar with our frequently used buttons and functions. And on the bottom we have our status line. It tells us that we're running a pressure cycle. Now before I forget, I must turn on the vacuum pump. When you're doing subatmospheric points, it works a lot better to have the pump turned on. Back to our status line. We have the pressure cycle, tells us the major operation. The set target tells us the specific function. And the black and white text tells us what specifically is going on. Part of this test is to start with an exercise. And it will draw down, repressurize, draw down, repressurize, and then go on to the first set point.